Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Talking Reds, where we bring you the latest Liverpool news and transfer news and much, much more. Milos Kerkez is officially a Liverpool player. That is a contract for Fabrizio Romano. We're still waiting on an actual official post by Liverpool as well. I thought it'd be done by now. We thought today would be the day with Milos Kerkez. Fabrizio Romano did say official statement next. That was this morning. That was 7 hours ago. So 12 o'clock today, he said that official statement is coming next. So last week was Florian Wirtz on the Friday. It came at about 7 o'clock. So I was expecting maybe a little hint of Milos Kerkez from Liverpool. 8 o'clock, it's pushing it, in it, Naj? 8 o'clock, if that's to be officially confirmed.
Yeah.
If it's not 8 o'clock, it's probably the cut-off point for me. I think it's going to be tomorrow. Either way, it's done. It's pretty much done. As Romano said, look, you can consider him as a Liverpool player right now. So, yeah, what do you say? 8 o'clock? Cut-off point?
Yeah, I mean, we just said off screen, didn't we, that we think if it's sometimes it can drag a little bit, can't they, the medicals, depending on a few things. But I think it's like, if Fabrizio Romano says it's done, and we've all said it's been done for weeks, it's done.
It is pretty much done. If we're honest with ourselves, I have got like a thumbnail ready for the official, but at the end of the day, we're waiting. It's a bit like last week with the Florian Wirtz thing. We knew it was going to come at some point in the day. It came a bit late, 7 o'clock. But let's get on to some news before. Obviously, we're going to talk about Kerkez in tonight's stream because Kerkez is pretty much a Liverpool player today. But Lewis Steele has come out with some absolute unbelievable news. Alexander Isak news, Marc Guehi news. And basically what Steele said is both may want Liverpool this summer. So this is what he said about Alexander Isak. If you're wondering about Alexander Isak, if you have just joined us, by the way, make sure you smash that like on that video. It would help us out massively. Hitting the like button. And if you are new, subscribe to the channel as well to get all your latest Liverpool updates. So yeah, Lewis Steele on Alexander Isak. What I was told last week is if Isak could move to Liverpool, he would. Easier said than done, of course. So is Isak to Liverpool probable? No, but is it possible? Yes. And I think this has been pretty much what we see about Alexander Isak. I've always said, look, a player like Isak would be open to a move like to Liverpool, like a club like Liverpool, if it was to go for him. The issue is the deal seems complicated. The deal seems difficult because of the price, because of Newcastle's the way Newcastle are right now. They're not, not looking to sell, not needing to sell. Naz, do you think this could be one that could drag over the transfer window, but then possibility of happening?
Yes. Do you know what? I mean, I'm quite pessimistic, when it comes to things, but I feel like it's been blown out of the water. It's gone. It's gone now after this start of this transfer window for me. I do think that there's something there. I mean, I've been banging the drum on it for a while, saying there's something is happening, something's going on. I did a stream myself on my own channel the other day, and I always say I've got quite a lot of Newcastle followers. Don't know what I just do, and I was getting some absolute pelters off them saying that you won't go to Liverpool and all stuff like that. I had someone saying I'm very arrogant to think that Isak will go to Liverpool, but all I said is, look. The cards are in Newcastle's hands, 100%. There's no doubt about that. But, and there's the big but, if Isak wants to go, he actually holds the cards. So, if he wants to go, he could hand in a transfer request. He could, we know firsthand what players can do. We know what they can. The power's in the player, isn't it? Realistically, it was always in the club originally, but now it's in the player. But I think there's just something there. There's always been something there, I think, with that sort of, best striker in the Prem. Where's his likely destination to go? Is he going to go to Barcelona? I don't think they can afford him, I'll be honest with you. Is he going to go to Real Madrid? No, they've got Mbappe. Is he going to go to Juve?
Yeah, we said this tonight. I said this tonight. I don't know who it was with. I don't know if it was with. I think it might be with Reece. But I said, look, what other club needs an Isak at this point? I mean, he's not going to go to Man United. We need a striker. Arsenal, they're looking at Sesko and Gyökeres. If whether he moves this summer or next summer, Liverpool seems a likely destination regardless.
The one that people obviously Isak was linked to Arsenal not long ago. But like this is like no disrespect to Arsenal in any way, shape, or form, but Liverpool carry a lot more like history is one thing, and Liverpool carry a lot more like progression going forward. Like Arsenal have been in this phase of them getting to where they've got for the last 7 years, you know, and they haven't done it. They haven't gone any better. So like, if you're a player looking in going, or Isak looking in going, you know, am I going to go to a club that's only won the FA Cup in the first season that the manager's taken over, or am I going to go to a team within that 7 years of Arteta's been at Arsenal, have won everything, and are in a really good position after just winning the league in the first season? It's almost like what more is to come? You know, what more is to come from Liverpool? Like, it's so exciting to go and join Liverpool at the minute. Like, it's more exciting to go and join Liverpool than it is to go and join City. Like, City, Guardiola's not going to be there much longer, is he? Like, we know that. You know, that was one of the reasons Wirtz had the meeting with him, and he said, not keen on that. You know, Arne Slot, if he continues with this trajectory that he's on, I mean, he's already hit the pinnacle already, hasn't he? If you think about it. I mean, next one is retaining it and then Champions League potentially.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Arne Slot could be here for 8 years, you know, 8-10 years, like Klopp was. You know, you're going to play under manager for 10 years and you can win up. You've got the opportunity to win multiple trophies, multiple silverware, be in the shouts for getting possibly Ballon d'Ors and stuff like that. Like, you're going to pick that option over going to play for a manager who's not really done anything in 7 years, you know, in terms of winning stuff. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something there. Like, obviously, I think you know what I'm going to say about the Jota thing. There's obviously that lot of talk about that, isn't there? Jota the other way, 100 million.
Yeah, well, it's like if Jota and Nunes go, then we have to get 2 in for me. But if it is one coming in, it has to be an Isak. It has to be. It can't be an Ekitike, for example, on his own. It has to be an Isak. Brett asked here, when will Kerkez get announced today? Well, we thought so, Brett. We thought so. Nothing has of yet. If, like I said, if something does come out, I am looking constantly. I'm making sure I do keep up to it. So 1 second. Something's come out about PSR complaint. Right. Okay. I'll bookmark that for a second. But yeah, regarding Milos Kerkez, nothing has officially been said yet, apart from what Romano said at 12 o'clock today, which he basically said Milos Kerkez can be now considered as a Liverpool player, deal signed, and also club to club. Here we go, confirmed. Official statement next. So he said that last week. When he said official statement next, I think it was like 3 or 4 hours after where Florian Wirtz was announced. But that was 12 o'clock today. Romano posted that. So, and we're still waiting on the official announcement by Liverpool. Like I said, I would wait until possibly 8. I can't see it being 9 personally, but maybe 8 o'clock latest. If it's not announced today, it'll be announced tomorrow anyway, because it's passing medical. Everything's pretty much done. It's just probably doing all the promo sort of stuff and whatever. They need to find electric drill for him and Soboslai to do for their promo. So yeah, I think I could see being a good promo, a good marketing ad at the moment going out in terms of his announcement. So yeah, keep that in mind about tomorrow. So if 8 o'clock passes 8 o'clock, I can't see him pass. But then again, as we do on the Talking Reds, if you guys watch Talking Reds every single night and you know how this stream goes, as soon as we finish on the 8 o'clock dot on 8 o'clock on the dot, something happens all the time afterwards because we're always talking about the next day. But yeah, so if something does happen afterwards, I will be here as soon as it's official. I will be on here and let you know, guys know as soon as it is on Talking Reds. We ain't waiting for next summer for a 9, especially one who will be 27. I think Escobar. I think if we wait for Isak, we've still got to bring him forward in this window. I don't want to see Wirtz as a false 9. I don't want to see Diaz anymore up front.
It's one of them, though, isn't it? Like, I genuinely think, and that's why I think people have been saying, "Oh, but Diaz are playing another season up front." No. Arne Slot has got 2 years. I think there may be an extension with them 2 players that I'm going to talk about. He's got 2 years of his 2 best players.
Yep.
Club. I think they probably get an extension. I'll be honest with you. I think that'll come, right? Because I don't know, maybe Salah doesn't, but I think Van Dijk will, just because of the position he's in of being a captain. And he doesn't like neither of them look like they slowed down, do they, at all? But, you know, we don't know what can happen over 2 years. But, you know, Arne Slot is not daft, and he will want his man, and he'll want his man now. And that's what it seems to be the case, isn't it? Like Florian Wirtz, we did not know that we wanted to sign him, and Edwards as well. Obviously, Edwards is very, very good at all that sort of stuff. And look, I think it's now or never, really. I think we won't. We don't. I don't think he wants someone that he has to work on. Slot. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he wants to do that with that position. I always get the feeling of that because he's already had to. He's had a season where he's won the league and he's had to mess around with that striker position. I don't think he wants to do that again. I think he wants to, because one of the reasons why we brought Slot in was because he's good at bringing youth through. I think Slot wants his main man, that's Isak. He wants Isak in there and then work on Jadon Danns, work on players like that who can get that extra game time and stuff like that. But he wants his main man. He doesn't want to be messed about with Luis Diaz going up front, like Jota out of form, Núñez not interested in playing for Liverpool. It's
Wirtz is a false nine. I think, like I said, I think Wirtz can play in a false nine in certain games, in certain situations. I said this last night. Yeah. I think this is what he wants. He wants players to play in certain positions as depth and play different ways. I think Sot wants different ways of playing this season. However, he don't want to be wasting Wirtz as the false nine all season. He wants him as his number 10. That's what the report said as well, that he wanted him as number 10. He brought him as a number 10. He is a number 10. So play him in his best position.
I'm not even saying this as because I'm a Liverpool fan or anything, but if you put Isak and Wirtz behind him with Salah on the right and Diaz or Gakpo on the left, that is one of the best attacks in Europe, and you cannot deny it. It's definitely the best attack in the whole of the Premier League. There's not one better than it. Arsenal isn't better than it. City ain't better than it. Chelsea certainly isn't better than it. I'm not even going to mention the other club from Manchester because
Salford.
Yeah, Salford. Yeah, Salford. Oh no, sorry, it was Ashton, wasn't it? Curzon Ashton. No,
FC United.
But it's I was speaking to one of our mates, an Arsenal fan, and I was speaking to him. He said, "If you get Isak, it's over. It's absolutely over." He said, and it's true. And I think people are actually genuinely frightened that it'll happen. I mean, I would be frightened if it happened. If someone signed Wirtz and Isak in a window, say if City did it, I'd be like, right, yeah, we ain't going to leave next year because it's frightening.
It's unbelievable. I said it to Hugs the other day. It's like Undertaker Kane back together again. It really is that big of a duo. It's massive. No one else has a chance. It's pointless going against them. Yeah. Hi everyone, says Beefy. Good evening, Beefy, and good evening, John. Hi guys. Do you think we will sell players before buying any more players? We're actually going to speak about that, actually, John, because that's what the reports were saying earlier, saying that we might take a pause. I think it was David Arnson that said we might take a pause now and concentrate on selling players before we do look again to buying more players. And I think this was always going to be the case, but get them free in and then try recoup some money back as much as we can. We have been sell to buy over the past, since FSG have come in, we've been well known to be sell to buy. And I don't think we'll be far off it this season. I think we've shown more ambition where we're not relying fully on sales this season, and we've gone out and done transfers before selling anyone, which has been brilliant. But I do think we want to get as much as we can. And this is why we've put a massive price tag on Darwin Núñez. Because, like I keep saying, Darwin Núñez is the one to bring the most money in terms of a sale, unless a Diaz goes, for example. So this is why we want 60, 70 million for Darwin Núñez. And we find it difficult to agree with Napoli on that situation because Napoli ain't going to pay that sort of money for Núñez, who hasn't really proved it yet. But they still want him. And Núñez has accepted going to Napoli as well. So I think that will get done. It's just, again, it's negotiating. I think Liverpool need to come down a little bit with their price tag. Just be like what we expect other clubs to do. Say the same thing. We expected Bournemouth to go down on Kerkez. They did. We expected Bayer Leverkusen to go down on Wirtz and their value of him. They did. We've got to do the same now. If we want to get rid of Núñez, and Napoli clearly want Núñez, and Núñez wants Napoli, then we need to take a little bit off the asking price, just the way we want others. And at the end of the day, we can't be hypocrites about it all.
We'll make the money back on what we'll lose on Núñez off another player, though. I'm convinced on that. I mean, you could even argue the Kwanzaa deal.
We're going to say 35, 40 million for Kwanzaa.
Yeah, that's sound. I'm not that's. It's a good deal, the Kwanzaa. Actually, that's one of the best deals I've seen. Actually, buyback on him as well, which is great.
Yeah.
We could do if he performs in the Bundesliga. But I was just going to say something then. Actually, I keep saying this, and I keep saying this on my lives as well. Like people are, Liverpool don't spend. Going back to the point you're saying, we sell to buy. this year, Slaughter said he wants to trim down the squad. A lot of big managers want to trim down the squads and stuff like that, which is fine, yeah. But, I said to people, forget that Wirtz transfer. What I mean by that is Liverpool make more money back on player sales for that Wirtz transfer. So people saying that Isak's not realistic for Liverpool to buy this summer. It's total rubbish because Liverpool can. Liverpool's that Wirtz transfer is already nearly we sold Quan for 34, we sold Keller for 18. What's that? Like 50 odd million. Then we sold Nat Phillips for 3 million. We're going to sell who else? Let's say we sell Harvey Elliott for 40 million. We're already up to 90 odd million there, and then we only paid 100 million up front for him.
Yep.
So that's what I'm trying to say to people. Forget about that money that Liverpool paid out for Wirtz because that doesn't.
We're getting it back. Yeah, we'll get it back for sales. Yeah.
That's why I think the Isak thing's so realistic because you can just go, right, Newcastle want 100 million up front. We can do that. We just got 94 million or 95 million back already. It doesn't make it. It's pretty simple, and that's even obviously talk about Nunes. If you get 60 million for Nunes, that's the entire Wirtz plus add-ons and more completely just wiped out by all the players.
Yeah. Speaking of that, according to Dave Powell, who is a chief businessman for football writer for Reach PLC, but he speaks about business a lot more in football. He said Liverpool could spend another £200 million in the market this summer and still be PSR compliant. So we're still not going to break the rules. And that's without the sales that we could be doing. Like Nigel said, we could easily recoup. I think we could recoup certainly the Wirtz money. And I think if say, Tsimikas goes, potentially, Keller has already gone, Quant has already gone, that's about 50 million there in those two. Elliott for another 40 for 90 million. Nunes takes it over 250, 140 million. That's all that back. So, and we have always been asked to forget sell to buy. Yes, you can have the sell to buy, get all the money back for more sales, but make sure you do enough then after that to ensure that we've got enough going forward. And this is why an Isak is possible because we still have money. We're a rich club. We make money like no business, and we haven't spent for free transfer windows either. So at the end of the day, it is possible. The issue is, and where I think System said here, Isak said he should leave now because he won't make a move to a big club. No one will sign him for 150 million when he's 27 to 29. The issue with the Isak situation is, can he really force the move? He could try force the move and the transfer request in, but then it becomes a bit iffy, doesn't it? It becomes a bit like he probably respects Newcastle. He probably respects Newcastle fans. They've given him a good platform there to become another level. So it's a bit disrespectful in it and in transfer requesting, unless he speaks directly to the owners or directly to the manager, says, "Look, it's my chance." I think this will be convincing, but I don't think he's got to do it respectfully, if that makes sense.
All I'll say is Van Dijk did it. So,
but Newcastle are in a different position to what Southampton was in. Much different position.
Too dissimilar though. If you think about it, take the Carabao Cup out of it and the qualifying for Champions League. Southampton.
That's a big difference.
No, I mean in terms of like sixth, seventh, weren't they? They were qualifying for like Europa and stuff. And
Southampton.
Yeah, they were doing really well. Van Dijk, wasn't he? When they had Tadic and all that. And
I remember them doing all right. I don't remember getting European football though.
They got 7th or something one year, but they were doing okay. Yeah, but you got to think Southampton's money then compared to what Newcastle have got now. Like, there's not. There obviously is a difference, but there's not like. What I'm trying to say is, like, they're both not. Put it this way, Liverpool is more further away from Newcastle, Southampton than Southampton and Newcastle are to each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in terms of.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I do get that.
That not Southampton now, by the way. I'm just going to say that not Southampton now because they're rubbish. I mean Southampton when Van Dijk was
back then. I get what you mean. Hi David, I wish you Isak wants to come to us. Well, the report from Lewis Steele is that he was told last week that Liverpool, if Isak could move to Liverpool, he would. So technically, yes, he does want Liverpool, but again, it's trying to materialize that move to being true and being realistic. I'm still surprised about Jota, a great lad, but I think he's had his time, don't you? Beefy, it's been a strange season for Diogo Jota because Diogo Jota was Mr. Reliable. He was the one that would, without Salah, if we were not relying on Salah to get goals, it was Jota. He was much more clinical than Salah in the previous years, but his injuries have seemed to have caught up on him. His injuries do make it difficult to put an argument forward for keeping him. Normally, his goals and his clinicalness would make up for the injuries and the games that he's missed because he would win his games that we need a winner in. This season has been completely the opposite of that. This season, his performances have dropped so bad it does not make up for any of the injuries and the season, the games he is missing. So it's a bit difficult with Jota because I really like Jota. I've always really liked Jota. I think a lot of every Liverpool fan loves Jota. I don't know anyone that doesn't like Jota. And to say, oh yeah, it's just leave because it's done. It's hard, but again, are we going to see too much change? I think Jota does stay because Núñez goes. If it were me, I would get rid of Jota and Núñez together, bring in Isak, bring in another forward as well, maybe a young lad that's got potential. But I wouldn't mind keeping Jota if he's got to stay fit. And if he doesn't stay fit as long, he's got to fucking do it when he plays. That's the issue.
Is this too mediocrity? Yeah, it's all right. What I'm looking for, going for having what I was trying to Jayden Danns. I think he's got real potential. Jayden Danns. I'm not saying that because we've seen him in a couple of cup games, stuff like that. No, he looks like he's got it. You know what I mean? Looks like he's got it. Very raw. He's very raw. But if Jota and Núñez does go, would it be too crazy to have Jayden Danns as a backup with Luis Diaz being the false nine and Wirtz in that position, just because you wouldn't have to spend the money on him? I know Jayden Danns' contract would be so small because he's obviously only 18. What I'm trying to say is, Liverpool go out and buy I don't know, an Ekitike, just for example, Ekitike is 21, right? Whatever. Go and buy him and an Isak. Is that fair on Danns in terms of, I think Danns is probably, if he gets a good run in certain games and stuff, he's clinical, he looks like a good player. Is that too hard to say that it wouldn't be better to just keep Danns around, and then if Danns is injured or if Danns is not up to slots level at what he wants him at, just play Diaz there? I mean,
I still think Danns still needs that loan because obviously he went on loan. He got injured, didn't he? So he didn't really play. I still think he needs that loan. Whether someone might come back in for him, might they? Really, and that's Premier League football now.
Yeah, honestly, I've you see players come through and you go, they're going to be the next big thing and all stuff like that. With Danns, I just see a good player. He could be the next big thing. You never know, but he just looks like a good player. Do you know what I mean? He just looks like he's going to be a good player, and I just think keeping him in and around the club would be just very sensible. I think he's, you can see as well, he just loves playing with Liverpool, doesn't he? He obviously is a Scouse lad as well, but it's nice to have that around the club. And I think, I wouldn't want to bring a striker in who's a similar age to Danns and be it pushes him out a bit, doesn't it? And then it's he's never going to get sort of thing. Where I think if he was given a chance and, like I say, he went out on loan or something like that, he could get it. But I mean, say we did sell Jota and Núñez, which it does look very likely at the minute, I would probably keep Danns around just for that rotation option with with Isak, Diaz, Wirtz, whoever you want to put up front, Gakpo even, just to keep him in and around them. The caliber of plays he's around. He's not, he's not sort of second fiddle to Núñez and Jota anymore. Jota obviously been good, but not second fiddle to Núñez. I bet Danns was bloody, I'm better than him. You know what I mean? At some point.
Yeah. Well, he's much more clinical than him, certainly.
Yeah, just look to just have, learn off if Isak comes in. Imagine learning off Isak, you'd be just you'd be some serious player if you was even a quarter good of Isak.
Funnily enough, I said something similar about Rio yesterday because we're talking about the Malik Fofana links.
Yeah.
And because we've got Diaz and Gakpo on the left wing and Rio coming through behind, then I like Malik Fofana. I think he's a good link. I think he's a good player. I think he's got bagged the potential, by the way.
Yeah.
But would we look at a left winger when we've got Rio there coming through? We've got Diaz, we've got Gakpo. I don't think that's a possible chance.
Rather keep Rio. I'd rather have Rio.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I don't want to stunt that development of Rio.
Not even being mediocre though, isn't what we're saying? These players we talk about, Jayden Danns and Rio,
bags. But they're just as potentially good as Fofana.
Yeah, they're seriously good. Like the thing is, the reason why they've not got it looking at the minute is because of how big Liverpool are. Like, you know, they're playing for Lyon or whatever. Like, they're not doing what we're doing. You know, and I think that you know, I do think Rio and Dan's probably Rio will stay, but it's third choice, and then I think Dan's possibly could go out and loan, like you're saying. But you know, these two get sold, I would keep them in. But just watching next season, I'm gonna keep a close eye on them. I think they're gonna get a real good, like, you know, like running with like certain games, stuff like that. I'd be really like interested to see him, like, especially in the cup competitions, because I feel like they're that year older now as well, working on the slot. Serious thing. Like, Rio has obviously been training with the first team since he's come through the door, pretty much, and he's 16. Like, that's some.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Another player that could be on that sort of same mindset as well of being coming into the first team as a player is James McConnell. Arne Slot is a huge fan of James McConnell, and the midfield could have an Endo-type squad role next season according to Lewis Steele. So, yeah, we've got some good youngsters coming through, and they do need game time at some point. And like McConnell, you don't want to sort of stunt that growth of McConnell. You don't want to stunt the growth of Rio. You don't want to stunt the growth of Jaden Dans. So it is finding the right balance, but making sure we've got enough. We can't rely on these youngsters to be the depth, if that makes sense. They've got to be the depth behind the depth, I think, because we've seen it before. When you get a couple of injuries and you're relying heavily on the youngsters, inconsistencies is part of youngsters, and there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure. And you could ruin. Some youngsters do step up. There's the special youngsters, you know, like a Rooney at 16, like a Gerrard at 18, players like that. The special players, but most youngsters, that if you rush them in too quick and playing too much, rely on them too much, you sort of ruin them a little bit. Nyone is another one. He is another one. Well done, Escobar. Yes, Nyone is definitely another one. We didn't see much of Nyone last year. We saw him in the cup, and that was probably the only one we saw him, and didn't go really too well, did it? That cup, I thought Nyone poor. I think, well, everyone poor in that game. I just hope games like that's what I'm saying. I hope games like that don't ruin those youngsters' mindsets on, because, you know, Nyone coming in for that game, you think, oh, it's my time to step up. It's Plymouth. This isn't the Premier League. Yeah. If I'm going to play good in this, I should be able to play good in this. I want to play good in the Premier League sort of games. The games like that can ruin mindsets. I just hope we don't have to rely heavily on the youngsters.
I tell you what,
right, and we'll see what they can do.
Tell you what, going off, you know, we obviously lost the PSV in the Champions League, but Trey, Nyone, and McConnell both played in that game. They're both really good.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
they're really good. You know, it was, again, probably the senior players that wasn't very good, but the others were like, you know, I don't really have an issue with the youngsters, really. I don't think Rio didn't play in that game, did he? It was Gakpo, and then I think it was Chiesa come on second half, didn't he? Or Chiesa, I think Chiesa played maybe the full game, actually. I can't remember.
Right, against Plymouth. I'm sure he played on the right. Did he play on the right?
Chiesa played on the right against Plymouth, and Diaz was on the left.
Yeah, I think so.
Jota, oh my God. How bad was Jota? I knew that.
Nunes came on, yeah.
It's comical, that game, you know. I actually look back and think, what on earth?
It wasn't comical at the time, mate. It was not comical at the time at all. I was fucking fuming.
That was awful.
Because we thought, you know, this could be the first game of many that we lose here and drop.
Yeah.
It was that period where the hard games were coming in. And yeah, we could have easily dropped. So smash those likes, says Jen. Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, everyone that has joined us for chat. Like Jen says, make sure you do smash those likes on the way in or on the way out. Whenever you want to smash the likes, it will help us out massively. We are 90 subscribers off 750, our goal. 19, guys. So if you are new, subscribe to the channel. We want to give you the best Liverpool content around. We don't just want to give you boring just news updates constantly. We want to, like I said, the bigger this channel grows, guys, the better the content's going to get. I can absolutely assure you that. So please, if you can, share it to anyone that you can, every Liverpool fan that you know, football fans in general, get it out there, get the channel out there and become part of a good community here. I want to build a nice community of Liverpool fans. Bradley and Stefan special player as well. So Jen, yet Stefan Bajcetic. There was actually reports yesterday about potential loan deals for Stefan Bajcetic. They are wanted. Ben Doak and him are quite seen as good people to good players to loan out. I'm trying to get it up now. I think it was Lewis Steele again talking about them too. The catching the eyes of many players are Doak and Bajcetic. So Ben Doak, yeah, £25 million. They're looking to sell Ben Doak for, which if we got £25 million for Ben Doak, wow.
I probably would sell him. Just, it sounds bad. I think he's good, but very injury prone already, isn't he? Like it's such a young age.
£25 million, a big asking price. I gotta say.
What did Everton offer? What did Everton?
Everton, Palace, and Bournemouth are looking at him.
Oh, it was Palace in January. I think they offered like 15 mil for him or something like that, didn't they? I think in January, Palace did. Yeah, 20 mil. Ben Doak, Guehi. There you go.
All right then. So we've got Bournemouth, we've got Everton, and we've got Palace. Which player would we use Doak to get?
No,
So I'm going to give you 4 options: Branthwaite, Guehi, Wharton, Semenyo.
I'd just go with a substitute with Guehi. I think Wharton's just it's a bit out of I don't know. It's a bit out there, and it's a bit like, oof, it's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't think we're looking at a DM, mate. I think it's a mistake. I don't think it's a massive mistake, but like we're seeing Gravenberch fall off a cliff this season, and he's not really a natural 6 anyway. And we're seeing what he can do, and especially if we're not going to the defense. I mean, it could just be all out attack next season. That's what it's looking like right now, because if Konate's situation is still up in the air, we don't know what's going on with that. I don't think he's asking for I don't think he's asked for 200k. I'm sure he's already said himself that he's not asking. Don't believe the price tag that people are saying that I'm asking for. I don't think he's asking for that, but that we're not agreeing on that. Whatever's going on with that, Quan's already gone, so we could literally have Gomez and Van Dijk as centre backs. If not, it's Gomez, Van Dijk, and Konate as a centre backs. 2 of them injury prone, a bit like 2021. I said that last night. Dangerous game to play. And I've got Gravenberch as DM again with Ender. Bajcetic coming back as well, which is all right. But yeah, it seems. I think we are going to be looking at sales now. I think that is what's going to happen. Kerkez is going to film for the door, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, whether it's official tonight or tomorrow. Kerkez is done. Now it's going to be sales. Nunes going. Elliott probably going. Then we're looking at not Kelleher. We're looking at Tsimikas or Robertson. I think we're waiting on Robertson. I think he said he was going to go on all day, probably gather his thoughts, see what happens.
I think he'll stay.
Do you think he'll change his mind?
I think he'll stay. I just think I don't know. I did see an interesting thing the other day actually about saying, was it PLG, whatever it's called? Obviously, I think Quance is under it as well, wasn't he? Something like that. There's a few.
Yeah, all the same. Yeah, I know what you're about. Same agency.
I sort of seen that.
Nat Phillips was as well.
Who's that?
Nat Phillips was as well.
Yeah, Nat Phillips. Yeah. So I'm sort of seeing like they're wanting to like get rid of everyone who's
cut ties. Yeah.
Sort of under that. I think the reason I just think Robertson will stay. I just think that like he's going to go Atletico and he's probably not going to win another trophy again before he retires. Probably. Barca going to be so dominant in that La Liga. May win a Copa del Rey or something like that, potentially. But he's got, imagine he wins another Premier League. Imagine he wins another, Champions League. It's more, I don't know. He's just got a lot of ties to the club, I think, Robertson. I just think Tsimikas hasn't got as much tie to the club. You know what I mean? Like, I like Tsimikas, but I just don't think he's got that. And I feel like it's just more dependable, isn't he? Like, if you look to your bench, I think this as well, another thing as well. You look to your bench and like the other managers there, like you look to your bench and go, right, we need to shut shop up a little bit here. You look at your bench and you go, I've got Tsimikas on the bench, and they'll just instantly go, right, you can get at him because he'll just I'll be halfway at the pitch or still in centre mid. You look at Robertson, Robertson come on the pitch. You could tell Robertson, right, don't go at the pitch, sit in and just defend that back post, and he'll do it. And I think that's right. Other managers be like, oh shit, they've got Robertson on the back. He's probably one of the best left backs in the Premier League era.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that doubt, isn't it? It puts in your brain like and stuff. I think that's obviously a big thing.
And what Joe says here, what is Milos' shirt number? And also, Juma says, what is the jersey numbers of Florian Wirtz and Milos Kerkez? Please, we want to know. That won't be found out yet, guys, Juma and Waswa. That will not be found out until probably the Adidas kit deal, if I'm honest.
It's 3's not available, is it? Because Endo's got 3, hasn't he?
Yeah. So when did they register the numbers? It's like just end of the transfer window, isn't it? Register numbers. But the new Adidas deal is August the 1st.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll see numbers until then because they won't want to put the numbers on back of the night shirts. There's no
Is
need.
it August?
August the 1st is Adidas deal.
July. Wow.
August the 1st. So we might see the numbers in preseason, but I'm sure you could play a preseason without numbers on the back.
Yeah, you can just get a squad number, don't you?
Yeah. So what I would say on that is literally I think they might be waiting for the Adidas deal to be official, where they can put them on the new shirts. Otherwise, you're just wasting numbers on the old shirts.
I'll also second in saying there's players going out. Let's not forget that. There's players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's players going out. They might be waiting for certain numbers. Is a number 9 going to be available soon?
What's Elliot?
Who?
Was Elliot 2015?
Elliot, is it 21? No.
Right, no. Curtis Jones is 17. I know that. Who's 15?
Let me get him up, guys. Let me get him up. Liverpool shirt numbers.
I think Wirtz will take 13 or something like that. Something like iconic number. Do you know what I mean? Like an iconic German number, like Klinsmann.
Oh, Tsimikas is 21. I knew 21 going to be available. So Tsimikas is 21. So if he goes, 21's available. RVL is 19.
19, that's it. And it was
So Kies is 14, so that'll be probably available. Nunes 9, that's going to be available. Diaz, if he goes, 7's available. I can't see it. 5 could be available if Konate goes. You can't really. You don't need to give the numbers straight away anyway, which is all right. We can wait for that. But like I said, the Adidas deal in August, which is August the 1st, that could have a big part in playing all this.
6 is available though, isn't it?
6 is available. Yeah, we ain't bought a 6 since. Who was our last 6? Because they want Fab. Was it Fab with 3? Wasn't it?
Yeah. Why do we always have our CDMs as like such weird numbers, like 3?
3.
What isn't that always? It's usually always a left back.
It's Endo 3. Yeah.
Joe Gomez is 2, isn't he?
Yeah. Joe Gomez 2. Yeah.
He was 12 and he went to 2. And then
Robertson 26. Why is Robertson not number 3? I absolutely love shirt numbers being the actual positions. It makes so much sense. And I'll tell you one thing I do want to change for the next season. I want to see Liverpool actually posting the fucking squad in the right order. Right squad order and not the numbers.
It's annoying, isn't it? Because it'd be like you'd have like Alisson 1 and then it'd be like Van Dijk, wouldn't it? And then it'd be like it was a normal match day lineup. It'd be like it'd go Alisson, Van Dijk, Konate. So it'd be like Van Dijk right back, Konate left. Then it'd be like
probably like Frimpong fucking
like Luis Diaz, wouldn't it? Because there was no
Luis Diaz 7, yeah. Then Soboslai, then McAllister.
It just do, and then it'd be like Robertson, Trent at the end. That was just so annoying.
Yeah. That needs to change next season. I don't want to see that, and I'm all for changing numbers around the season for me. If Robertson wants to change to 3, then I'm all for changing that. Then again, Endo's 3, isn't it? Endo can be, I don't know.
I doubt he'll change.
Maybe it's like when you're on Football Manager, you sort of change it to the right things, don't you? But they have preferred numbers, don't they? Some of them have preferred numbers.
Yeah, they all have yeah.
But yeah, I want to talk about Marc Guehi as well, because Juma's asked there, we need Marc Guehi of Crystal Palace. So the latest on Marc Guehi and what Lewis Steele again said. Like I said, Lewis Steele's come out for a few things. I'm still waiting for him to come on the show, by the way. Lewis Steele said he is going to come on the show. We're just being very, very patient in terms. I know how busy he is. So Lewis Steele will be on at some point on Talking Reds. I can assure you that. Just waiting for his confirmation when he is actually available. Marc Guehi likes the idea of playing for Liverpool and will almost certainly leave Crystal Palace this summer. If Liverpool's interest turns serious, then a deal could definitely happen. So Marc Guehi wants Liverpool. Alexander Isak wants Liverpool, according to Lewis Steele. And Marc Guehi is certainly to leave Crystal Palace this summer. This has got to be done by Liverpool. And we said it yesterday. We were talking about Marc Guehi yesterday because he's going to be free next summer. We're in a powerful position on this one. It's a bit like what Real Madrid was with Trent. Do we wait a year and get him for free, or do we pay up now? And I think this is on Palace. If they ask for like 40 million for Marc Guehi when we can get him for free next summer, I don't think we do it. But if they're willing to drop down a little bit, I think we've got to get that deal done for me. Because again, regardless of whether we sign Marc Guehi or not, we've got to get a defender in this summer.
Yeah.
A centre back.
If it's
What do you
like,
think?
I think it's 30. I think 35 million. I think that's what it'll come down to, and I'm happy with that. I'm actually very happy. If it was 40, I'm happy with 40. I'm happy with anything around 35, 40 million. I think 45, you sort of asking a little bit too much there, to be honest. Yeah, I was speaking to Crystal Palce fan on, you might know him, Prime Premier League on TikTok the other day, one on his channel. I was chatting to him and he said, like, he fully thinks that Guehi will go to Liverpool and stuff. But he was like, oh, swap for Kwanzaa plus 20 million. I was like, well, that won't happen.
Well, Kostas gone, so that's definitely not going to happen.
Yeah. But I mean, that would be, for us, like that, I think now it'll be around 35, 40 million. I think that's as much as we'll go on it. Like, I don't think we'll go any more on it because he's not going to be a starting centre back straight away. He may come in and start playing quite a lot of games because he's a good player. I don't know.
He's good enough to challenge Konate.
Yeah, he does. That's it. We said it though, didn't we, the other day? Like, Konate. Like, I mean, Van Dijk is not in this conversation because he's just elite. There's no one better than him in the world. Like, that's it. Konate has no. If he's having a bad game, he has no like. Like no one's going to come in. He's like, oh, he's not going to play Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? Like, that's sort of like,
yeah.
I'll be starting next game, no problem. So, if Konate does it in a little bit of form, Guehi comes straight in, and he's a serious player, Guehi. So, it's the competition. I think Slot likes the players to have competition with each other. I think he's a big advocate of that. You can see it, can't you? You can see him like, oh, I want you to challenge this. Like, look at the Gakpo and Diaz situation all season. Like, they were battling it out at the start of the season before Gakpo got injured, battling out for who plays left wing, and it was great because we were both like,
yeah,
right, I'm going to play mid.
It keeps the competition up. It keeps them both fighting at the bit to get playing, and it also keeps players at the best, I think.
Yeah, it does. But like certain players, like I think Salah and Van Dijk, like, and Alisson, like they're not really in that conversation because I think they're just that good. Like
there's not many in the world that would even give them any competition. So it's impossible.
Yeah. So I think, they're already that good. There's already top of level. But like other players, like, I mean, Trent hated it this season. Did you see his face when he used to get subbed off because he was playing rubbish? And like, he used to bring like, he used to bring Bradley on and he was started putting Jones right back. Like,
yeah, and Quantock right back here, yeah.
It's just like, yeah, you're not playing good. You can get off. Like, it's what I mean. Like with this and another one, that's just the Robertson why you think he might stay. How many times did Slot trust Tsimikas last season when Robertson was playing bad? He didn't.
No, he didn't. No.
So, is he going to do a Kerkez? If Kerkez comes in, he has a bit of a dip in form. He is not going to play Tsimikas whatsoever. He's just going to play Kerkez.
Literally, Robertson cost us like points, and he still played the next game.
Yeah.
If Trent did that, it would have been dropped.
Yeah, like the period before Christmas, it was like the Fulham game. He was Robertson an absolute you could tell from minute one he was having a stinker, couldn't you? Like he was misplacing passes and he just couldn't deal with it. And like, obviously the Arsenal game, he got absolutely skinned by Saka. There was like loads of different like home goals. Southampton game as well. Like he was just like, oh, what am I watching in? And he's
playing this game.
Still didn't get dropped. It was just crazy.
I think that's what I'm saying. Over and over again, and this is what I'm saying about when managers say, oh, I'm happy with the squad, and you get people saying, no, you don't want to buy players. Look, they're saying he's happy with the squad. What do you mean he's happy with the squad? It's fucking sort of half the fucking team. I've said it all the time. I always say the same thing. These managers have to say they're happy with the squad. They've got to not going to throw the teammate, the players under the bus. They're not going to create a bad dressing room. What they're doing is look at their actions. He's all right saying happy with the squad, He's playing Diaz up front. He's not a striker.
Does not want to
playing Robbo who's costing us points over Tsimikas. He's not even thinking about the midfielders being changed. So he's not happy with the squad. He never has been happy with the squad. So this bullshit about, oh yes, look at what Salt said. We don't need to buy players. He's already said we're happy with the squad. Stop believing what they're saying. They've got to say, you've got to think outside the box. You've got to see the little, and Klopp did the same thing. Klopp said he was happy with the squad, but then when it came to playing players, he kept Oxlade-Chamberlain on the bench. He kept these players on the bench. He never played them. His actions speak louder. You've got to say the happy with the squad to keep harmony.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I reckon, I bet you any money on this planet, right, that Slot was absolutely fuming with Jota and Jota and Nunes this season. I bet he wanted to rip them out and rip them to shreds how bad they were this season. But he's not going to say that, is he? Because he's not going to turn around and go, right, he's crap. He's not done anything for
Well,
me.
he got enough of Nunes, didn't he? And even he couldn't be bothered with adding his hatred for Nunes by the end.
Oh, no, but you know, it's like it's just he isn't happy. Like you say, he's literally sold. Like how many players are on the chopping board this year? There's literally 7, 8 players.
I'm happy with the squad, and literally, what about fucking 10 of them are going?
Yeah, like
I kept saying throughout though, don't listen to what he's saying when he's happy with the squad. I said,
yeah, he's not.
Read in between the lines. It's so easy to see.
There's like this season, like we won the league, but you can say there's probably 6 players that Slot would not sell out of that team, and that's Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah, the midfield 3. I mean, would he sell?
And maybe Gakpo, probably
Gakpo. That's it. 6 players. I don't think you would want to sell like Kanate or Robertson particularly, but I mean, out of the rest of them, I reckon he'd sell pretty much everyone.
But he won't put his foot down.
No, but I don't think he'd like the others. Like, would you like? This is Chiesa. He didn't even want Chiesa. Didn't even want him. He didn't want him to play. Like everyone was like, "Oh, let's play him." We had so many shows on here saying, "Why doesn't he play Chiesa? We've already won the league. Why is he still didn't play him? He didn't want him to be there." It's just, yeah. You know, we sometimes think as fans, we need to just take that like sort of sentimentality or whatever away from like what we think and what the manager thinks. Like there's a reason why he's a manager and we're not.
I mean, I absolutely love the brutality of Van Slot. This is what we need. This is what I think. This is what FSG needed to fight back against them as well a little bit. We needed a manager said, "No, our standards are here, and I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting anything less." See, young Klopp, I don't think he accepted personally what the lack of backing he got. What he did like though is being underdog. So he wasn't going to argue it.
Yeah,
I think Slot's the kind of person who said, "No, we're not underdog. We're fucking Liverpool Football Club."
He's literally said that, hasn't he? He's literally come out and said, he's literally basically said, we're not underdogs. We are. Have you seen who we are? We are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think the change in mindset of Slot to Klopp is a big difference because Klopp, I think, liked being underdogs. But then I still think Klopp wanted more of this. I think he wanted more transfers. You see how excited he got when Caicedo was pretty much done, where he thought he was going to be done, like a kid in a candy store that in the morning. Yeah. He was literally like, Charlie going to Charlie Chocolate Factory. That's what he was like. Seeing all the sweets, but with Slot is like we're Liverpool Football Club. This is our standard. This is what some fans have been saying for a long time. We need to show that ambition because we're not a small club. We need to act like a big club. We are one of the biggest clubs in world football. We need to start acting like it. And this summer we're finally seeing it. This summer we're actually finally seeing it, and this is why it's like it's part of saying, "Oh, these FSG outers." That's what I saw last week. These FSG outers were wrong. They weren't wrong. They weren't wrong. Not at the time.
I was one.
I question FSG for what they were doing.
I was one. I'm gonna sit here and lie. I was one. The amount of tweets I put, the amount of videos I put on TikTok and YouTube and stuff saying about how I'm sick of them being at the club. They just drain it. They just don't spend any money. This is not always just like before last season's has been for years. Like I've seen it happen with my own bloody eyes, and now they are spending money. I'm not going to say they're doing. I'm not going to sit around and go like,
get out. Yeah.
This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted to do. We didn't want a Florian Wirtz every season, but we just wanted the manager back in a little bit more. That's
the problem is with the FSG out sort of tag that people call people FSG outers. All they was thinking about those one that go crazy online, like FSG out, tagging FSG out every day, and going and tagging like Linda in and stuff on stuff. It's just weird. They're weirdos. The majority of FSG out crowd is just came with valid arguments and reasonable concerns. Whilst I've always said this: look, who's got an agenda here? Who's got an agenda? Is it someone that's protective of FSG that doesn't dare criticise them, or is it someone that's criticise them, but when they do well, praise them? Who's got the agenda there? I've praised the FSG for many things, and I will continue to praise them for good things.
I would rather, me be what I was, which was like FSG out. I wasn't like obviously tweeting Linda and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Things like that.
But
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I made videos and I got lots of views, and I'm saying like, oh, I'm sick of them. I'm absolutely sick of them not spending money. Like they don't, they just drain the club out. Though I remember doing a video last year actually on how when Klopp was leaving. It was probably like last January, and I did a video on like, wake up people, like say, oh yeah, but we need to save this money, and I said, wake up, like look, to just give a Red Sox player like $100 million contract for like 3 years. I said, like, that is ridiculous. Like I said, we've got players that have not got them, players who we won't sign because we're giving $100 million contracts out to a baseball player. Like, and I said, like, football's a bigger global entity than it, and it makes more money. It's just a fact. And I've always said I'd rather sit here and be wrong after him.
But the thing is, wasn't wrong. We were right at the time. But the thing is, I'd rather them change. I'd rather them change and get new owners. That's what I'd always rather done. And they seem to change a little bit.
I think you remember last season as well when everyone was saying that we're going to get like, I seen like people saying, Saudi owners, or it might have been this season actually, Saudi owners. Elon Musk was interested in Liverpool, and everyone was like, I actually remember a big TikToker did a video on how he'd like Elon Musk to be Liverpool owner. I was like, no way.
No. And then they thought everyone that was FSG out wanted Elon Musk then.
Yeah.
That's what makes no sense. It makes no sense. I didn't want Elon Musk. I didn't want either of them at the point.
Like they've been, if you look at it, they have been good owners, but they've just not done. They've done the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done. And like now, I'm happy to say this season they have done brilliant. And I'm
Yep.
Last season, yes, we won the league. Did they do good? Not really. No.
Did they do enough? No, they didn't do enough. No, I think they got away with it last season.
Yeah. And like,
but they got a good signing. But they didn't make a good decision and get down and slotting. And Marc was back and Midge was back, so they did do good things again. And I just think they let Klopp down massively. We can't rewrite history here. They did. And all I keep saying is the arguments I had online was, oh well, we got the injuries. We're waiting to a season with three centre backs, 200 injury prone. It's our own fault. And I kept saying, look, what do you see as Arsenal now? Would you say Arsenal? We laugh at Arsenal for crying about injuries, right? We laugh at Arsenal for crying about PGML. That's what you guys were like when instead of going after FSG, you blamed injuries and PGML. So why are you laughing at Arsenal for it?
Not to the same level as Arsenal fans, like.
No, they were. I swear, honestly. When I wrote articles for LFC Transfer Room, I interviewed people about FSG. I interviewed a few FSG inners, I interviewed a few FSG outers. And the FSG inners, all they said was, well, we had injuries and look at PGML, they messed us up. That's the answers.
The answer was
to literally what Arsenal fans are doing now.
The answer to what and I think we've both said this in the past and agree on it. The answer is, when we were top of the league in January and we had every single centre back out injured, why I'm not nearly swore then. Why didn't we go out and buy a frigging decent centre back instead of going out? And this is what FSG did. Right, Klopp wanted someone to come in who was good, just a decent level, 30, 40 million centre back. Let's go and buy him.
They'll blame Klopp then. They said, oh, well, Klopp wanted Kabak and Davis.
Oh, no.
He didn't. He didn't play Davis. He wanted half a Mello. He didn't play half a Mello.
Oh, yeah, no. Klopp wanted to go and get someone on loan from Schalke and someone from Preston for 3 million. Like, of course he didn't want that. He probably wanted Kanate at the time or something like that.
And the worst thing is, what I got the other night when I was arguing with someone, they're still arguing about it. They won't admit they were wrong about it. The centre back position, when we got rid of Lovren, they said, oh, we're waiting for Kanate. Well, fair enough, we can wait for Kanate. We still need a centre back that summer. And they said, well, no one's available. I said, all you got to do is look who was available. Gabriel went to Arsenal that summer.
Yeah.
Diaz and Ake went to Man City that summer. So don't tell me there's no one's available. We're very well known for our scouts. We're one of the best recruitment sides in the world. You're telling me we can't find another centre-back in the world football?
Do you want to know something interesting as well? Van Dijk, right? The next centre-back we signed after Van Dijk was Kanate, like permanently signed one. Like, obviously, I'm not counting Davis in that because that didn't, he didn't play, did he? Like, so what's the point of even talking about it? The next one we signed was Kanate, and he's the last one we've signed now. Like, we haven't signed from Van Dijk in 2017 to Kanate in 2021. It's 2021, 2021, and then to now we're in 2025. We've signed 2 starting centre backs since then. Like Matip was already at the club beforehand. He was in 2016. Obviously, Joe Gomez was. So when people say like, "Oh, it's Klopp's fault" or something like that, how many centre backs have Manchester City signed in that time? I can't. There must be about 15. It must be something like that. Ruben Dias, Akanji.
I'm not saying we're not saying that we should be doing that either.
No, but I mean, this is the point. What we're trying to say, like, the centre backs wasn't available. There is plenty. There has always been plenty of centre backs. Like,
just an excuse.
Yeah, it's just a rubbish excuse. No, they should have brought in a player, or 2 centre backs in that January. You should have brought 2 centre backs in, even if someone was free and they were decent. That should have happened, but it didn't happen. And we still now, and this is why I'm a bit keen on Guehi more than probably most, because we haven't signed a centre back since 2021. That's 4 years.
And we need someone good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to. If we want to progress forward, we need to do that. We need to strengthen in that position, and I think that's key to probably win another trophy. I'd say definitely.
Yeah. We don't want to make the same mistake, by the way, because if we don't sign Guehi now, we don't sign another centre back. We've got Konate, Van Dijk, and Gomez, £200 players, and 3 centre backs, £200 players. We could be making the same mistake again. Guys, is Morello from Nottingham Forest a possibility will LFC sign? Robbie said Morello will cost too much from Forest. So yeah, Morello, I've not seen anything on Morello in terms of a report or anything, not direct to Liverpool. I've seen little reports on Morello potentially going, but I've not, like I said, I've not seen anything specifically linked to Liverpool. It'd be a good signing if it was possible, but again, Nottingham Forest, how much would they ask for after the season I've had? I'd say at least 50, 60 million.
He's got a contract renewals, like I think it was something. Someone was saying it was like 80 million or something at minimum.
But there is some breaking news though, Naj. It is big news in terms of football in general, and it could have a knock-on effect for players going out. Lyon have officially been relegated to League 2 in French League. They've officially been relegated. Also, they're having the money problems, want this. So they've officially been relegated by Ligue 1 into League 2, which is massive. And again, we're going to talk about Malik Fofana. What does that mean for Malik Fofana? Will he stay at Lyon? Probably doubt it now.
No.
So the players, some of the decent players that Lyon have, also Lacazette. We need a forward. Arsenal need a forward. Lacazette's available.
You know what's crazy though, Dale? Do you know what's really crazy about that? Like, I was reading up on it. It was to do with financial problems, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's financial issues. Yeah.
Because I know that the French league don't.
I think they had to get Champions League football in last game of the season.
And he didn't.
To sort of pay that money, but
they
didn't get it.
Le Havre beat him, didn't they? Something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like the French league. Do you know what? They're brutal on it because they do it with Bordeaux, don't they? They just don't care. They're just like, yep, you're not meeting the financial fair play in this country. See you later, and they just relegate you. And like, it's ruthless, but it's probably a good way to run it, isn't it? It makes it a bit more, that with the teams coming up, like from Ligue 2, as you'd say.
Yeah. But
the teams that come up, like they're not having them financial issues. They've come up correctly and stuff like that. And a club like Lyon, they're huge. Obviously, they're a massive club in France. I think probably, if you think about it, Marseille, Lyon, PSG, probably the 3 biggest by a mile. Probably say that.
That's huge ramifications, though. That's massive news.
That is crazy.
That's like when Juventus got relegated further down. But yeah, it is massive news. Obviously, the players have got Malik Fofana. It's certainly one to look out for now regarding Lyon getting relegated. Nemanja Matic is there, Lacazette's there, but they're older on in their careers. Toliso's there, pretty decent footballer, pretty decent midfielder. Toliso, was it the one that Bayern Munich won? So
yeah,
he's pretty decent. They've got some good players there. Barcolos already left. Shirky's already left. Yeah. Shirky probably saw it happening. Got out there once it could. But yeah, Fofana's certainly one to keep an eye on now, Liverpool fans and football fans in general. If you wanted a left winger, a youngster that's got bags of potential, Malik Fofana could be cheaper now. Lyon getting relegated.
Got a young centre back who's good. I forgot his name. I
think I know you're on about. Not Kumbedi, is it? No. They got that Dout Lakar. I know they got him. That Croatian.
To let a car, yeah, he was at Southampton, wasn't
he? Yeah.
What's his name now? He's a young lad, but he's good. Lyon have obviously got a good academy. Lyon have always had a very good academy, bringing players through. Barcola and all that sort of players, they've come through that. It's very surprising how tables have turned for Lyon, because they've been in this mess for a while, if you think about it, though. Like, I mean, they did qualify for Europa League last year.
Yep.
Being like that, haven't they, really? They've just been going down and down and down and down. Obviously, a few years back, they had a good team, but I think with Depay and all that and etc. But they just struggled. But I mean, yeah, that's big news, because I don't think a lot of players will be staying at Lyon. I'll be honest with you. I think I'll have to have a look. Actually, I won't second guess with this. He could be. I think he's
it's not like a normal relegation either. It's not like they've been relegated because they've been poor all season, so the players deserve to be relegated. It's the financial issues. At the end of the day, players didn't get Champions League football, but they don't deserve relegation.
But he finished sixth, didn't he?
Fifth? Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Sixth. I know the Havre beat them in the last game of the season, and all they needed to do was win that, and then they got in the Champions
League. Yeah, and they've been financially all right. But yeah, it's massive news in terms of football. Lyon being relegated by the French FA, whatever it is over there, because of not meeting financial stability. Imagine, does that set the precedent for Man City? I wonder. But I think the way it's going right now, I think Man City get away with it. I think they get away with it. People, Man City fans will be like, well, if we got away with it, it means we're not guilty. But I think everyone will label them as guilty no matter what happens for me.
Everyone already does.
I think they will get away with it, if I'm honest. I just think all these players that they're signing, Haaland signing a 9-year contract, they must know something. They must know they're winning the court case at some point. They'll get, obviously the court case is going on. The lawyers at City will get they'll get sort of like a feeling, they'll know how it's going for them, as it goes on.
Do you know what though? Like, to be honest, I'm not saying like City should or shouldn't do this. Like, this should happen to City or not. But the issue doesn't actually lie with Manchester City. The issue lies with the Premier League.
It massively does, yeah.
Like, they should have a no nonsense business. Like, they should be just like, right, you've broke this many rules. See you later. Like, they shouldn't sort of just act like, oh well, we're gonna have to let him give the case over and all, and all this evidence and stuff. But he literally got more charges because he wouldn't give evidence. If that doesn't show that someone's guilty, then I don't know. Like, it just needs. I'm not saying he should get relegated. I'm not. I don't know if that'll happen or whatever. But they just should. They should use their power. They are the Premier League. They are bigger than the whole thing. That is, you play in their competition. The FA as well, obviously, and they've let them get away with it. Let's be honest. Like, it's their problem that they've done it. Like, who's to say if the City do get away with it, that another club will do it? Like, I think Chelsea are doing it right. I think Chelsea are doing it right now under the noses, and I think they know they're doing it actually, and they're just letting them get away with it. Like, why are they signing like players on 10-year contracts?
Selling the hotels and stuff. It's just madness.
Yeah, selling the women's team to themselves.
Yeah.
Like, how is that not illegal? You play on the Chelsea.
Premier League have a lot of answers to answer, and I just think with Premier League there needs to be rules in place where owners come in. Owners need background checks, not just background checks. They need really digging into why are they here? Are they here just to make money? I mean, there's no way. I absolutely love Man United being owned by the Glazers. I think it's hilarious. But as football, I think it's spoiled. As in, like, why should an ownership like the Glazers be allowed to own a club like that? It shouldn't be possible.
It doesn't just boil down to the Premier League. I think this country in general is just terrible with like the ownership and stuff like that. Like, you look up and down the entire country, like, even places that are really close to Liverpool. Like, you look at, Wigan, they nearly went to the administration. Bury, they went into they did, like, Wigan won
Reading as well last season.
They won the FA Cup in 2013 in probably one of the great ways ever. And then they played the Europa League, even though they played in the Championship the next season. And they nearly went under. They nearly went under. And, like, they were owned. I don't even know the story about what happened with them. They actually got owned by, I think it was a Filipino or something like that, guy who bought them and then bet on them to get relegated. So
that's mad. That should never ever be the case. I think Reading's got poor owners as well. Blackburn have got poor owners. There's loads of clubs around the English Football League that owners are just not there for the right reasons. Yeah, and that's what needs to be investigated fully. Regarding City, though, if they do get found guilty, I don't know what the punishment is going to be. You can't just. I know that Lyon's just been relegated to League Two, but then if Man City get relegated to, say, the Championship, League One, League Two, those leagues have got to accept them. That's where the issue. So the relegation's hard unless the Championship accepts them. That's where, depending how much how bad it is and how much they punish them, they could just basically banish them from professional football. And they have to start again, lower down. A bit like what Wimbledon did.
Honestly, if I ask you now, what do you think they should get? What do you have?
I want to play him on a Saturday.
You want them to stay in the Prem?
No, I want to play him in my league. The league I play in.
I'll be honest. I think just so it stops it happening again, literally relegate them. Just do it, because it'll stop. It's the hardest punishment, isn't it? We're talking about football. It's not actually the hardest punishment ever. You know, like there's a lot worse things to happen. But in terms of some owner coming in and acting the way they've acted and done all these deals and all these stuff we've done behind the backs of the FA and the Premier League and the PGMOL and all stuff like this, whatever, relegate them, because it'll stop anyone doing it again. You know, relegate them. Give them a humongous fine and go, listen, you're going to have to start again. Because
set the precedent, and say, look, make a statement out of it.
He did it in Italy.
Yeah.
He did it with Juventus, were the biggest at the time.
Rangers in Scotland.
Like Juventus at the time was overtaking both the Milan teams. They were like starting to win loads of stuff. And everyone was like, oh, yeah, you know, why are they like this? You know, there was all this like scandal with them. And he just went, right, see you later, you're going down Serie B. And then he did that. And then, I mean, obviously, Juventus bounced back very quickly, didn't they? Because I think sort of at the time, Italian football was in like a massive, not a very good transition. But, you know, if you did that to City, I don't think it matter as much. In terms of, there's plenty of competition and teams in the Premier League for them to not, you know, it's before they was even big, there was plenty of competition there, you know. Now they've come in and just sort of won all these trophies back to back and all this stuff. And I'm not saying taking that away from them, they've done that obviously, but you know, it's this whole sports washing thing. I hate it. I really don't like it. PSG are the same as well. Like, I think they're like the same as City, like owned by states and stuff like that. Like, I don't think that shouldn't be a thing. I don't think. I think it's just, you're either owned by a company, you're owned by something. You can't be owned by.
They should really bring what Germany have. That's perfect. 51-49, isn't it? 100%. Fan ownership mainly. Liverpool might get into bother with PSR. Jonathan, by the way, now Jonathan's a Newcastle fan and he's been panicking every time I put Isak on the thumbnail. Panics and he always comes into the stream to Jonathan, Newcastle fan. But welcome in, Jonathan. Anyway, I'm going to tell you about something about Liverpool. Anyway, Jonathan, about the PSR, because there was a report out earlier. Liverpool can spend another £200 million in the market this summer and still be PSR compliant. And that's without the sales. We've still got the sales to do yet. So we were speaking about earlier, me and Naz were speaking about earlier about we probably will get the Wirtz money back. That's number one. I think we can get at least £150 million in sales back. And we've spent, 160, 170 already. So that's 20 mil tops in net profit. So we are far away from PSR rule breaking. Trust me. So Isak is possible, Jonathan. I'm sorry to break it to you. Isak is possible, and what the report earlier was, Lewis Steele, very reliable journalist. You'll see him on this channel very, very soon. I can assure you that. He has said that Isak is probably open to the Liverpool move if it was possible. Imagine they relegate them and stop them getting a Champions League spot. I think they do need to, if they do find them guilty, I think they need to make a statement of them.
The example, isn't it?
An example of them. Yeah, they absolutely do.
I think you can't have, it's like, I'm not sorry to go on about this a little bit, but you can't have teams that are getting taken over by idiot owners and getting relegated out of the league because they can't pay players and can't pay staff and stuff like that. And you can't have the other end of the scale of someone doing it the opposite way around, who've got that much money and spending all that money and having, you know, all the benefits of it and stuff like that. and them getting away with it. You can't. That's just not fair, is it? Like, you can't have it the other way around. If their owners are breaking the rules in that way, then you shouldn't be allowed to have the glory of it. You should be made an example of, to like the other teams are made an example of, when they shouldn't actually be made an example of, because the situation there is because their owners are rubbish and they don't care about the football club. It's weird because City's owners do care about the football club, but they also have broken rules. So, it's I just think you're breaking the rules. You've got to get punished for it. And I think that's
Jonathan, I've got some more bad news for you, mate. I've got some more bad news for you. Just leave Isak alone. There are other players from around for Liverpool. So Martin Hardy, I don't know if you know Martin Hardy if you're from Newcastle, Jonathan, but he is a Times reporter in the Northern Sports Times, so covering the North East, so Newcastle, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, things like that. He has just come out and said Liverpool have the funds to test Newcastle's resolve despite their spending this summer. Newcastle are concerned an offer could be made early next month for Isak. So, Jonathan, it's time to start panicking, my friend. It's time to start panicking. Liverpool have the funds. We knew Liverpool have the funds. And Martin Hardy is saying that Newcastle are concerned an offer could be made early next month for Isak. So, early July, I think, like I said, we'll get the sales done. Once the sales are done, Nunes gone, Elliott gone, Robertson or Tsimikas, one of those two. I think Martin will go. I think Dirk will go. And then we have eyes for one person, Jonathan. One person. There is other players. There is other players, but we don't want other players.
Don't
There's
cut
one
them
man that we want. And we're ironing right up. We are looking at Isak like I look at a Yorkshire pudding on a Sunday. I can see them in the oven and they smell absolutely beautiful. And you're seeing it rising and rising. Like, I can't wait to get that in my mouth. That is what Liverpool are doing right now with Alexander Isak. We are just eyeing him up. We're just letting him simmer. We're doing the sales. We're letting it rise in the oven. We're letting Isak rise in the oven for a little bit. But when that oven is time to open up and come on and put the Yorkshire pudding on our plate.
Do you think it's a bit tactical as well? For, like, in terms of like Isak and his management team? Let's just say that. Do you think that
a new deal? They better not do.
Not even that. Just sweat on the fact that they know that we want him. Like, because it's just going to be look more and more and more like, oh, I should go and play for them. You know what I mean? And I think that's can cause. I'm not saying I don't want it to cause problems between him and Newcastle. I just think it might cause a bit of. Do we sell him? Or, does he want to go? Like, that is always that time always tells, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, I think as soon as if Liverpool put, I'm 100% convinced of this. Liverpool put £125 million bid in for Isak. Newcastle will look at it. They won't go no. They'll look at it, and I think they'd be silly not to, wouldn't they? I think that's what they'll sort of look at, like, oh, 125 mil. That's a lot of money. That, like,
it says further on the thing as well. Newcastle are prepared to make Alexander Isak their best player in their history. Any contract offer from Newcastle would not match the high salaries at Anfield, with the club still constrained by Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules. Newcastle hope their own qualification for Champions League will be a factor in the player not seeking a move. So Newcastle are panicking, Jonathan. They are panicking. They still think they can get him staying because obviously you just got Champions League football and you're willing to pay him the highest you've ever paid for a player in your history. But they are panicking. They can see Liverpool looking at them. They can smell them. They know they're coming behind them like the prey. I think we were putting a bid in very, very soon. And if Liverpool put a bid in, all hell's going to break loose. X will shut down for at least a day. I can absolutely assure you that. But yeah, no news on Kerkez, guys. Like, we did give 8 o'clock maybe like the latest. I can't see it being 9 o'clock first. It won't be past 9 o'clock, certainly. So probably Milos Kerkez will probably be announced tomorrow. Like I said, if it is announced tomorrow, I will be on here as soon as possible. Someone from Talking Reds will be on here as soon as possible to let you know Milos Kerkez is a done deal. But yeah, big news on Alexander Isak as we were live. Newcastle are preparing themselves for a Liverpool bid next month, Jonathan. and all fellow Newcastle fans. I hope you have a great night, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week. Sorry, it's don't think too much about football. Try relax. Enjoy. Maybe take up golf or something. Take up gardening. Something to get your mind off Alexander Isak, because Newcastle are panicking. They are trying to get Alango as well, aren't they? But yeah, maybe they're trying to get Alango to keep Isak, because they're both Swedish, aren't they? So that's a way of trying to get him. Who knows? They've got a big job on their hands. Anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure you do like the video to help us out massively on the YouTube. If you'd like the video, it takes 2 seconds to press like on the video. It helps out massively in growing the channel. 750 subs is our goal. We're on 731 subs at the moment. If you are new and if you want to subscribe to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. If you want to see Liverpool content regular, not just news updates, we'll get regular Liverpool content now as well. Make sure you do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Big news coming up, and also big episodes coming up in a few weeks as well. More to follow on that. I will let you all know about those new episodes. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, guys, especially Newcastle fans.